How's your first couple of games gone?
They've gone really well. It's been awesome to play in my hometown. Again, since I was 11 years old, was playing out on the East Coast. So to be back in LA, play in front of my family, it's been amazing. First game at the Rose Bowl, we only punted twice, so it didn't see much playing time, but thought the game went really well. Nice to get some in-game action with our long snapper, Bo Gardner, who will be in the NFL one day. Great to be able to pair up with him and just experience that big school environment. And San Diego State thought went well. Definitely different than the Rose Bowl being on the road, and I'm excited to have our next away game at Utah. So.
What was that journey like to the East Coast and coming back, and tell us about the circumstances?
Yeah, so I moved out to Connecticut when I was 11 from here in LA. My dad moved out to Florida, so my parents decided to create a little triangle. Mom stayed in LA, dad in Florida, me in Connecticut. Started boarding school when I was 11. Decided to stay out there for high school after middle school, and then was actually committed to the school across town for college, and I decided I didn't want to leave what I had established out on the East Coast, so ended up committed to Princeton, stayed out there for college as well. So been out there for over a decade.
Wow.
Does that teach you to become more independent really quick, doing that?
Absolutely. You're definitely living with your parents. There's a lot of perks that come with that, but when you're living in a dorm with 100 other kids at 11 years old, you really gotta fight for yourself and create your own identity and learn to not depend on others early. While it was tough, the transition cost of moving west to east, it teaches you a lot about yourself and those around you early on.
How did the transfer happen? What was the conversation like? Which coaches did you talk to? What was the reach out period?
Yeah, sure. Well, I won the Adidas All-American spot to be the punter for the West the summer going into my senior year, and that's when bigger schools started talking to me. So flew out to USC, and middle to end of my senior season, had a really good senior season. Really liked the aspects of being back home more so than necessarily USC itself. So once I think realized that I'd be leaving all the friends I had made out on the East Coast, and I had been in that small school kind of vibe for so long, that I really, another thing to consider, my goal is to go to the NFL. For a punter, it's all stats based, right? Whereas for a quarterback, it's relative competition. So I knew that wherever I went, as long as I hit the ball as far and high as I could, it wouldn't lessen my chances of making it to the next level. So that's why I'm glad about this opportunity to play at UCLA. It's best of both worlds. Got the smaller school experience, balled out there, and now plan to do the same here.
You mentioned earlier, in the opener, you only got so many opportunities. What do you do in a game like that when, just to maybe stay fresh and stay warm and everything like that?
Absolutely. It's a trend. I usually end up on really good offensive teams where, for example, at Princeton, we only had one punt a few games and 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter to get my first opportunity. It's, it's a bit of a conflict of interest because I work so hard in the offseason, and I want to present my stuff, but at the same time, there's nothing better in this world than seeing my team succeed. I care about these guys so much, and the ultimate goal is to win a championship. So I'm constantly warm on the sideline, and whenever they call me, I'm ready.
Yeah, you mentioned your parents in different places. Are they out in LA now, or are they able to come to your games? Or?
Yeah, my dad is still in Florida, living out there, but I'm the youngest of 5. All my siblings live here in LA, except my brother, who lives in one of my brothers, he's a pilot, lives in Dallas. So my dad has a lot of good reasons to come out here other than to watch me play. So he will be here for a majority of the games, and mom will be at every game. So it's nice to have a big support crowd from my family.
Pilot for an airlines?
Yeah, for Southwest Airlines. He does the Hawaii flights.
Nice.
So spends a lot of time in Hawaii, and he'll come to as many games as he can. But he's a great brother.
And then looking at your bio, you mentioned there's a nonprofit organization. I guess something to do with bringing awareness to rising ocean levels. I mean, how did that all start?
Yeah, absolutely. My roommate in high school, as I mentioned, I went to boarding school, so my roommate was from South Korea. We had a lot of similar interests in climate change. We both live on the coast. He lives on the coast in Seoul, South Korea, and I live on the coast here in LA. And we also wanted to find a way to see each other during the summer, so we thought, combine those two things, we're going to go make a difference in the Pacific Ocean. Established a 501c3 and raised around $30,000 to buy a desalination unit. We flew to San Francisco, learned how to operate the unit and install it, and shipped it to an island nation called Kiribati, about 4 hours west of Fiji, northwest of Fiji, and spent 2 weeks there and received the desalination unit and implemented it into a middle school there, and made a little documentary about it. It was one of the greatest experiences of all time.
What's the where can people see that documentary?
Yeah,
URL? Or?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's on my LinkedIn right now. It's
Okay.
not not a specific place, but
Okay. What do they need to Google to find it?
just go on my Will Powers LinkedIn,
Okay.
and it'll be at the bottom there. Check it
Okay.
out. We took a lot of great videos of people talking about the importance of Americans helping them, as sea levels are completely terminating their access to fresh water. So it was really, really special to be able to help them out, and hopefully more people can do that as conditions get worse.
Any plans to expand that?
Potentially, absolutely. That was in high school, so a lot less going on, but here at a school like UCLA, the number one thing right now is to win a championship, and after that I would love to expand my efforts in that realm as well. So there's not a lid on that, for sure.
Thank you.